Hey, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time you're watching this. Thank you for tuning back in. First and foremost, thank you for the positive feedback I've received on these videos. I'm really surprised. Honestly, I was a little nervous at first, but I truly appreciate the positive comments and you subscribing and all that jazz. I'm glad they are helping, whether just to make you laugh, or if it is really beneficially helping you understand the ideas and concepts as we move forward in this class. So until you tell me otherwise, I will continue to make these. Side note though, please tell me if this is too much because I don't need to embarrass myself anymore. Shall we jump into day 3 of virtual learning? I think we shall. Please don't mind the fact that I'm kicking the desk. Oops. First thing I'd like to do today is answer your questions from the attendance form yesterday. I've got 3 for today. The first question is, what is the final assessment of this unit? Of this unit. So originally, the assessment was going to be a Socratic seminar, but unfortunately, we can't really do that, or it won't work quite the same as a normal Socratic seminar, so I am still kind of tweaking it and seeing what I can do, because I would personally really like to do something like a Socratic. It's just going to be dependent on if I can make something that is easy to understand and not terribly difficult. So that's the plan. If that does not work out, you will end up writing a short paper for me. So you can keep that in mind moving forward. Both options are on the exact same topic and ideas, so none of the content changes. It's just going to depend on how you show me your understanding. The next question I got was about No Red Ink. Sorry, I just got a weird email. No Red Ink, if you're still doing No Red Ink. So yes, you are. The March assignments, I am pushing the date of when they are due to March 10th. So if you are not done with those, you have some time to finish them up. If you are done, then you're done. I will post new assignments on No Red Ink the Tuesday we come back, or Wednesday we come back from that long weekend around Easter time. I'll remind you of that when we get closer to that date, but for right now, if you are not done with the March assignments, please prioritize finishing those up. And then the final question, I appreciate this one, is how is social distancing going for you? Honestly, I'm doing okay. I'm back home with my family, so it's been nice kind of being cooped up with them at least, versus by myself, but maybe some of you wish you were by yourselves, I don't know. I get to see my sister who goes to college, so that's been kind of nice. I walk my dogs a lot more now, things like that, but I definitely wish I could go outside again or, go places. I miss teaching. My job literally is me standing in front of people and interacting with them and teaching them about stuff and helping them learn. So right now, that's been really strange, but in a nutshell, I'm doing all right. How are you doing with social distancing? Are you ready to storm out of the house? Are you doing okay with this? Is it the best thing that's ever happened to you? I don't know. Let me know. I'm actually really curious what you guys are doing to kind of keep yourselves sane and entertained. If you ever have a question for me, please leave them in the attendance form. I try to answer them on these videos. Know that I can't make videos at midnight for the next day, so if I don't get to your question in the next day's video from the previous day's attendance, just ask me again or email me if you don't want your question on this video. Anyways, shall we move right into our tasks for the day, our agenda?
I would just like to really apologize for whatever's going on in the beginning of this video. I'm not really sure. Thanks for your patience. I appreciate it.
So let's talk about Of Mice and Men, shall we? Of Mice and Men is about 2 guys named George and Lenny. They are migrant workers during the Great Depression. John Steinbeck actually worked a lot with migrant workers in his lifetime. He grew up in California, so he worked the farms and fields with them. So he kind of based it off of the people he met and the stories he heard and the personalities he saw growing up. So George and Lenny are 2 migrant workers in California, and they are trying to achieve the American dream, ladies and gents. There it is. Snaps to that. They have a goal in mind of owning a farm one day. They're the best of buds, and they want to do it together. They want to be their own bosses. They want to do whatever they want. But obviously, nothing comes that easy. So during this story, we see them kind of go through some challenges, some decision making, some hardships, and we are left with the question of, are they able to achieve the American dream for themselves? George is a bit of an interesting guy. He's kind of a lanky, short guy, and he's always got a scowl on his face. He looks pretty mad. He's got a bit of a short fuse, if you want to word it that way. And then Lenny's the complete opposite. Lenny is this like 6'6" linebacker, but he is as soft as a teddy bear. And he's super sweet and super kind. But here's the thing about Lenny. Lenny has something called a developmental delay. What that is that Lenny is a full-grown adult, but mentally he is still developing as a child. So mentally he's at a childlike age. And with that comes childlike behavior. So George is left constantly kind of taking care of Lenny, cleaning up his messes and things like that, and there's obviously a bit of a strain on the relationship because of it. So on top of the fact that America's in a crisis, on top of the fact that they can't keep a stable job because of the economy, and on top of that, George is trying to keep a 6'6" linebacker from like rolling around in the dirt because he's a kid. So all of these are like huge factors that play into that answer or that question of, are they going to achieve their dreams? The story kind of follows them along through that process and what it's going to take to get to that dream. Along with this idea of the American dream, here are some other things you are going to see throughout the story. One, there are themes of racial discrimination. So we have to remember this is the 1930s. We haven't really progressed that far yet, unfortunately. So we have to keep that in mind. We have to take things with a grain of salt, right? We see injustice for those who are different than the stereotypical, like, average white male of who America kind of idolized still. So not only will we see like discrimination because of race, we will see discrimination because of developmental delay. Along with that, things I want you to keep in mind is, one, I want you to really sit here and ponder, were people able to still achieve the American dream during this time? Did John Steinbeck write a story that tells us it's still possible? Is this going to be the happy ending we're hoping for? And I want you to reflect on that and say, can we still achieve the American dream? Because modernism made a turning point. Modernism said, this is unachievable anymore. We've gone through too much. Our country is down. How can we sit here and say that we can achieve something so high that we still were supposed to hold out for, right? How, as like there wasn't equality, the economy sucked, people couldn't even hold a job, we were in war after war. Was the American dream possible? And in reality, in 2020, can we still achieve an American dream? Those are the questions I'm leaving you with as we move into Of Mice and Men. All right, last but not least, what you need to do for the rest of today. So we have all of our context now. You know what the story is about, or at least a summary. We are going to start reading. So for today, I would like you to read the first chapter of Mice and Men. There's a PDF of it posted to Classroom along with the audio versions. Along with reading the chapter, here's what you're going to do for this chapter and all the chapters. Posted on Classroom is a virtual notebook. It should be under the Of Mice and Men category of Classroom. In this notebook is where I would like you to take your notes on this story. So this is where you'll take notes on characters. It'll be where you take notes on themes, major plot points, maybe give me chapter summaries, and it'll also be where you talk about literary devices. So I can't do notebook checks because I can't see your notebooks, so this is my way of kind of keeping track. Literary devices is something we haven't worked with a ton in this class, so what I've also posted is an overview of the Of Mice and Men unit that has some recap of some of those literary devices. You don't need to know all of them. What I highly suggest is being able to talk about a couple of them in depth and well. So don't focus on quantity, focus on quality. There also is some theme stemming points if you need that, some things to look out for, essential questions, and so forth. But anyways, to be blunt about it, I need you to start reading, so you need to read chapter 1, and then you should be taking notes on it. Since this isn't technically like an assignment, it'll be due by 7:30 tomorrow morning, so it's due 7:30 on Friday. Sound good? Sound great? Yes, Miss Berklin, absolutely. Gosh, I don't like answering myself. Stupid. As always, if you have any questions for me, please leave them in the attendance form for tomorrow. Your attendance form should be submitted once you have completed all the tasks for the day, so that means it is also due by 7:30 tomorrow morning. I think that is all I have for you today. Wait. My recommendation to keep you entertained. So I did a movie, I did some music. Let's do a TV show today. One of my favorite TV shows ever is Parks and Rec, and I know it sounds maybe a little stereotypical, but I love it, and maybe controversial, but I like it more than The Office. Sorry. It's very quirky, it's very fun, and super uplifting. Leslie Knope is my favorite person I've ever encountered, and I aspire to be her sometimes, but c'est la vie. I'm just going to be Miss Berklin instead. So, if you've ever seen Parks and Rec, it's a lot of fun. They're quirky. It's kind of like The Office. Give it a shot. Highly, highly recommend it. Can I say highly recommend one more time? Thank you for answering. Alright, I think that is all I have for you. As always, if you ever need anything, I'm only an email away, so don't be shy. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!